They called it an inspection. The polite kind of word bureaucrats like to use when they meant public execution with refreshments. Out there in the cold silence, 1,000 ships arrayed themselves in a vast circle, their hulls gleaming with the pride of empires that had never been challenged. 1,000 banners of alien civilizations shimmered in the void, united by a single purpose: to humiliate the upstart species of Earth. And at the center of this impossible blockade, alone and absurdly calm, floated a single gray wedge of metal. It was old by human standards, practically antique, with its blunt lines and battered armor plates. The aliens had already named it the Relic. They laughed at it. They mocked it. They drank to its funeral before the first shot was fired. Inside, Captain Elias Mercer sipped his tea. Earl Grey. Hot. Transmission from the Coalition fleet, sir, his comms officer said. She was 23, annoyingly cheerful, and currently betting the last of her credits on how quickly they'd all die. Only one. Mercer arched a brow. Out of 1,000 ships, I expected more fan mail. Her grin widened. Shall I put it on, Captain? By all means. Let's hear what democracy in space sounds like. The hollow bloomed to life, and the Coalition Admiral appeared, a being of translucent skin and rippling tendrils, his robes a work of interstellar tailoring. He smiled with the kind of smugness only a bureaucrat with overwhelming numbers could achieve. Humans, the Admiral began, his voice dripping honey over poison. You are surrounded. There will be no battle. You will surrender your vessel, your weapons, and your technology. Resistance will not be tolerated. This is your final chance to submit peacefully. Mercer stirred his tea, blew on it, and looked almost apologetic. Submit, you say? Correct. Mercer took a slow sip. You've clearly mistaken us for someone else. The Admiral blinked. You are Captain Elias Mercer of the Terran Dreadnought Indomitable. Are you not? Oh, I am, Mercer said pleasantly. But you've misunderstood what indomitable means. He set the teacup down with a quiet clink. It doesn't translate to, please take my lunch money. Behind him, his crew snickered. The aliens watching across 1,000 bridges frowned. The first volley was ceremonial. Plasma lances, antimatter shells, beams that could slice moons like butter. They all struck the human dreadnought in a dazzling storm of light, only to scatter harmlessly off a shimmering veil of distortion. The Indomitable remained exactly where it was, unbothered, sipping tea. Mercer leaned forward, eyes twinkling. You've had your turn. Shall I? Rising tension rippled through the Coalition. Reports flew. Energy shield strength, unchanged. Human ship, no damage detected. This is impossible. The Admiral snarled. Increase firepower. Break it. So they tried. Hundreds of ships unleashed everything they had, pouring enough energy to vaporize a continent. The space around the dreadnought became a second sun. Yet when the light faded, the human vessel sat serenely in the void, still not moving, its gray hull gleaming like a shark ignoring minnows. Mercer yawned. You know, where I come from, there's a game called dodgeball. The goal is to move. I appreciate your making it easy for us. His weapons officer, a scarred veteran named Ortiz, grinned. Permission to return fire, sir? Mercer lifted his cup again. By all means. But let's not be rude. Start small. One turret. Just one. From the bow of the dreadnought, a single pulse of light flickered, quiet, elegant, almost lazy. It lanced outward, threading through the chaos with surgical precision. It struck the largest ship in the Coalition fleet, the Admiral's flagship. The vessel didn't explode. It didn't even burn. It simply came apart. Silent, clean, like a sandcastle brushed away by the tide. Gasps echoed across the alien armadas. Thousands of eyes widened. Thousands of hands froze over controls. Mercer smiled softly, almost apologetic again. Oh dear. Was that yours? My sincerest condolences. Panic spread like wildfire. Form a defensive perimeter. Don't let them charge their main weapon. What is their main weapon? They expected the Dreadnought to advance, to roar forward, guns blazing, like every brute they had ever fought before. But the Indomitable remained perfectly still. Mercer leaned back, folding his hands behind his head. Ortiz, would you kindly explain to our guests why standing still is so effective? Ortiz smirked. Because they're the ones moving, sir. Every shot they fire just makes them easier to hit. The crew chuckled. The aliens shivered. Then the Dreadnought began to move. Slowly. Deliberately. Like a predator circling. It wasn't fast. Just steady. A calm inevitability. The kind of movement that told every watching alien that humans didn't need speed. They had something worse. Strategy. The coalition commanders barked orders, desperate to adapt. Fleets tried to scatter, to reform, to use swarm tactics. But every time they moved, the human Dreadnought was already a step ahead. Shots landed not where ships were, but where they would be. Precision born of terrifying mathematics and human intuition. It wasn't war. It was chess. And humanity was playing 3 boards at once. "Captain!" shouted the comms officer. "We've intercepted their signals. They're asking what our terms are." Mercer set down his empty teacup and gave a small, polite smile. "Ah, negotiation at last. How civilized." He keyed the comm to all coalition vessels. "You came here expecting a relic. Instead, you've found a mirror. Look closely. You're seeing what happens when predators learn patience. When scavengers learn strategy. When prey learns how to bite back." He paused, voice softening, almost kind. "You wanted humanity's surrender. Instead, you'll carry humanity's message. Survive if you can. Tell your people what happens when you surround a human ship." Then, almost casually, "Ortiz, clear the board." The Dreadnought roared. All its weapons came to life, blazing like the wrath of a newborn star. Every shot landed. Every shot killed. Ships that had stood proud for centuries died in silence, their wreckage drifting like ash. The 1,000-strong fleet became 1,000 coffins. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. When it was done, when the last alien ship had fled or burned, the Indomitable floated once more in silence. "Come. Patient." Mercer poured himself another cup of tea. "Not bad for a relic," he murmured. But the twist came later. Weeks afterward, when the galaxy convened again in secret councils, fearful whispers echoing through great halls. They thought humanity had revealed their trump card, their singular supership, their ultimate deterrent. Until the human envoy walked into the chamber, smiled pleasantly, and set down a datapad. It displayed a list. Ship names. Thousands of them. Indomitable. Resolute. Valiant. Endeavor. Tenacious. All Dreadnoughts. All waiting. The envoy's voice was soft. Polite. Deadly. "You surrounded one," he said. "Next time, try 1,000,000. And the galaxy finally understood. Humanity hadn't shown them its strongest ship. It had only shown them its weakest.